Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just before we start, I'd love to say a really huge thank you to everybody who subscribed after the last video. One, I'm really glad you liked it, but two, I'm really grateful for all these new subscribers and I really welcome you to my channel. I hope to be able to bring you lots of nice tutorials and craft inspiration. So thanks for that. I really do appreciate it. So, on to today's video. After the last treat box, treat pouch I did, I thought I'd come up with another treat item because we're on the countdown now, aren't we, till Christmas, so any items for teachers' gifts or stocking fillers or little presents for friends and neighbours and hairdressers, that kind of thing, are always good, aren't they? So this is what I've come up with. If you like tea and biscuits, or you think somebody might like tea and biscuits, then this is the little gift idea that I've come up with. So it's using this collection, Holly Jolly from Mintay. I've used some of the cut parts from this paper pad. Those are the lovely papers, quick flick through. And some of the backgrounds and cut parts from this paper pad. Aren't they just lovely? Tartans and reds and greens, really nice and bright and jolly and traditional. So that's my front with my cutter parts there. Turns out really cute. And as you can see, as you go around, it's all decorated. Looks really nice. There's some red dotty ribbon, one of my favourites. Little Holiday Magic sticker on there. And when you open it up, this is a little pouch for, I've got in mine, tea, shortbread, because we do like a bit of shortbread in the UK, and I've got Scottish ancestry, so we like it even more, and a little honey sachet. In the UK, I don't think we can get these as very easily, to be honest, so if you don't use this, it doesn't really matter. I have only got a couple of them anyway. So you could use 2 tea bags instead, and that's what I'm planning to use on this next one. Just a quick heads up on, oops, crash, caught my necklace caught there, on these teas, if you ask me where these are from. These are from Bird and Blend. You can see these online. They have shops in the UK in some of the major cities. They are fantastic. I was introduced to them by a friend. You can get tea bags or loose tea, but they're all kinds of flavours. If you like Harry Potter, when he went to Hogsmeade, they had butterbrew. Well, they do a butterbrew tea, and it's just creamy, caramelly. It's really lovely. The ones I've put in here are Moondrop Dreams, which is like a herbal tea. This one is Jammy Dodgers, and this one is the Great British Cuppa. And they use all sorts of different Ceylon, Sri Lankan, rooibos, is it, teas, all that kind of thing, mixed with natural flavourings, herbs, that kind of thing, and they are so nice with a splash of milk if you like it, or without. So that's my little treats in my pouch. So let me move those aside. And then I've also left this little, on this one, a little area to write, but on my next one I plan to move that down a touch and leave an area to slot a gift card if you wanted to. You can put anything you like in here. It doesn't have to be tea and biscuits, but I quite like that idea. And I like the idea of it being open at the sides so you get a glimpse of what is inside. So let's crack on with that. So I've wrote the instructions down. I'm just going to take my necklace off because it's clanging around. I've wrote my instructions down and I've drawn you a diagram for ease. This is what the box shape is going to look like when you have done the instructions. So I'll let you take a picture of that for a mo. We'll have a look at it so you can come back to it. And these are the instructions. So you need a piece of card which is 11.5 by 7.5 inches. On the short side you need to score 1 inch from each end. So let's do that together. So this is my 11.5 by 7.5 inches. I'm going to pop that on my big scoring board. I know you can only see part of this, but you can get the gist. 1 inch from one end, and we're just going to scoot it round, and 1 inch from the other. On the long side, I'm going to score at 2, 3, 6.5, 7.5, and 11. So let's do that. If I bring this in a minute. So I want it at 2, 3, 6.5, 7.5, and over here at 11. This makes the flap closure. These are the widths of the boxes. That's nice and simple. And then it says here, score only to the dissecting score line at the 5-inch mark, top and bottom. Cut away any excess as shown in the diagram. So this 5-inch top and bottom means keep it where it is on the scoreboard, score it at 5 inches just to this score line, and do the same on the bottom. You can either come down and never find a line, or you can flip it over and do it at 5 inches. So that is the scoring, nice and easy. Let's get rid of that. So next it says cut away the excess as shown in the diagram. So here's my diagram. This is my 2, 3, the 5-inch part score there, 6, 7 and 11. So I want to go from this score line here up to the top, and from this score line up to the top, and that's the pieces I want to get rid of. And then when you've done that, cut those pieces away, you should be left with this piece in the blue. This is sounding all right to follow at the moment to my head. I hope it is to yours too. So that's that. And when you score it and fold it, it should look like this. And then you just want to cut up these side pieces. So I've cut up to the score line, trimmed a bit away in the middle, cut up to this one, trimmed a bit away in the middle, and this is what you're left with. So there we go. So you can start seeing now how this comes around. These two pieces and these little pieces go in and they form the box part, which is here, and this wraps around, tucks underneath. One little tip when you are cutting out, if you've got quite a wide scoring tool, make sure you cut on the outside when you're cutting off. Don't cut right in this groove. Cut on this side there, on that line, not on this side, because when you fold it in, because this is a flap that's going to cover the pocket here, you do actually want it to cover the pocket. So if you cut it too short, you'll kind of have this going on and seeing the pocket. So make sure you cut it so you can see my score line there. I'm cutting on the outside edge of them both. So just a little tip for you on that one. So now let's have a decorating session. I've also wrote down the, this is on a little piece of paper here, so I'm going to hold these up. Can you see it there? Of the measurements, so you of the mats of paper. So you want 4 pieces of 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, varied colours. 3 pieces of 5 1/4 by 3/4, again vary all the pieces. 2 pieces of 5 1/4 by 1/2 inch. 2 pieces of 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 1 piece of 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. Sounds a lot, but it actually is not. I'm going to bring them in, what they are. They're just these few bits that I've got here. And this is going to ensure that you've got everything covered. So I'm starting off with my front pocket, and because you're going to see that when you open up, I like this very pretty poinsettia piece. So I'm going to use that because it's quite bright and cheerful. It's very Christmassy, and that sets the tone of the box for me. So you should end up with a good border around, and that saves you having to do mats and layers for me. Then there was 2 small pieces. These 2 small pieces are the 3/4 by 1 3/4. They're going to sit on the side. So it doesn't have to be, but it's worth doing them the same as the piece that you have got for this panel. Kind of fits together nicely if you do. But again, if you're varying everything up, it doesn't have to be. It's a great box for using up all your spare pieces. It's perfect for that. So then I've got, this is going to now come around like this. So then I want to decide what my front piece is going to be. I couldn't decide on my red or my check, and I'm going to go with my red. So let's pop this one on. Another tip for this, if you're making quite a few, I would probably say use wet glue. Even if you're not making quite a few, I quite like using wet glue with this. So get that one on, kind of central. Now with these papers there's quite a lot of white on them, I like that, so I'm quite happy to have quite a few white bits on the go, showing around the edges. Could easily use that side really as well, this mixed pattern. Yep, the wet glue does give you time for manoeuvring. Pop that one on. And this one is going to go here. That one there. See it all starting to come together now. So all this is a sticking session before you assemble the box. I quite like this green for the front, so I'm going to have that one on there. This is one of the 1/2 inch pieces. I'm going to place that here. There. See, I'm a little bit wider on the edges, and that's the way I've cut that also, because I can see that that's not quite straight there. Let's get that trimmed a little bit. Okay, there's that one. What have I got next? I have now got this, the top of the box, and I should have some inch pieces. What have I done with those? They're under here. So I can either have that, I can have the mixed piece, I can have this green piece. I think I'm going to bring in a bit more of this green, I think. Put this green in there. So that's going to do the top of my box, like so. Getting there now. I've got a red piece for the middle. I do quite like that as well then. I'm going to put that one on. I haven't inked any of these edges either. I wanted it to be a clean cut kind of style, because I like this clean cut papers, but that doesn't mean to say you can't ink yours. Look beautiful with some papers and inked and different varying styles. Getting to the end now here, we just want the back. I'm going to pop that one on. So let's pop this back piece on. And the good thing about this box is it lends itself to you mixing papers. And if you do that, there is no right and wrong way of doing this. The more you mix, three or four patterns, the easier it will be to pop a few of these together, because you can just use the same patterns from your paper pad and come up with a really lovely look. So last one there. I've cut one too many of those there, so set him aside. And there we go. So all panels are covered except these ones, which I'm now going to stick together. So bending these in, you first want to stick this one to here. So I'm going to bend these small pieces in, stick some glue on those. You could use tape here if you want to. Then I'm going to bring that round and let's just get that so you can see it there. And you're just making that into a nice right angle corner. Hold it until it starts to grab. And do exactly the same with this side. Oops, sorry, I'm very close to the camera there, and I didn't realise. So intent on looking at that. So that's where we are there. So we've got this going on. And now you just want to put glue on these, sorry, glue on these pieces so that you can stick them down. Bring that round, also squaring it all off so you've got a nice boxy edge. That time to grab, do this side. Square it off. And give that one time to grab. So now you should have a nice little pouch, all decorated, all coordinated and looking nice. Your paper's stuck down and this all looking lovely. So then you need a piece of ribbon. Now I would say that this is that 12 inches? So 20 to 24. You probably won't use it all, but it gives you enough for if you want to do a decent sized bow. Loop it round, get it in the middle, like so. Hold it fairly tight and stick that down in the middle. There it is. Call that. Okay. Then all I've done, and you can use anything here, you could use a doily, you could use a die cut, which I'm using. This is die cut frames and circles. I'm going to use this to stick over. So this is going to be my anchor piece and also a focal point for my images. Because just by putting this layer, it helps to break up your coloured images from the background. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on these bits that are wider. Not much to stick. You could use your dotty tape runner, to be honest, on this part, which would be great. Like that. Pop it round. Stick that on over my ribbon. Give that time to grab as well. That looks great. Okay. So then I have got, let's flip to the inside again. I've got a piece that I'm going to use for writing on, and I'm going to go with this piece here. So I'm going to tuck that down. I like it like that, I think. Yeah, it's enough, isn't it? Let's tuck it like that, I think. It's enough to write, and I'm only going to stick this bottom piece down so that if I want to slot a gift card behind here, I can do. There'll be enough room. And I'm going to overlap that there. I'm going to keep it flat because I don't want any bulk. There's no leeway in this for lots of bulk, so keep these images flat down and keep them away from the join. There we go. That looks great. You can write a little sentiment there. So that's on. And then this can tuck behind here. Okay. Now, just one thing where I think on. Let's get my goodies. case you want to know the size of these biscuits that fit in this box, they are, I mean, I've squished the size in. It is, just get that away from on the windowsill, just under 5.5, I would have said, but even less really. 5 you could get her to push, but I think you can get 5.5 in there by 3, and the width is under an inch, about 3/4 of an inch. So yes, you could definitely get 5.5 in there, so depending on what size your biscuits are. The tea bags are going to go in there as well, tuck those down. And the other tea, or my little honey sachet, is there. So that's the inside all done. Tuck that over, get that all comfy there, and then I've got some pieces to decorate with. Now these, like I said, were from the cut apart sheets, so let's get those on. And I'm going to use this set up like this, I think. Let's see, do I like it that way? Yeah, okay. So let's get Santa on first. So I've popped some foam pads on the back, and this is the time to use the foam pads because you want him to stick up a bit. Let's pop him on there. And I've got a little poinsettia and some holly. These are the 50 million small squares that take forever to pull the pieces off, but you get the gist. So let's pop some of that overlapping him, and that's your key to doing these kind of things. Just make sure it'll all work out if you have them overlapping, and vary the sides up a bit. Like I'm going to pop that going that way. So if you've got a poinsettia and a holly on one side, then vary it up and put the holly up on this one and the poinsettia down, and it just gives you a bit of balance and looks nice. There we go. I'm not gonna, I like that with them, I think stuck out that way. I'm going to tuck that under there. That's better. Now I've got this bit here which I'm not so keen on, so I am going to put my sentiment, which these are also from that collection, stickers. So I'm going to use, where are we now? Santa's Coming to Town, I think. Is that too big? No, that'll do. I'm going to put that Santa's Coming to Town right across there. That looks nice. And I may even tuck a couple of baubles in there. Let's stick one there. One down. And a big bauble there. Let's stick that big bauble first, shall we? Take that one up. Stick that one there. And then I'm going to pop that one overlapping a bit there. That'll do us. I think that looks nice enough. So that's that. What do I need? Some gems in the corners. Let's get some gems. Loving the red. You don't very often get a chance to use lots of red in the rest of the year. So Christmas for me is about the red. I do like red. I love the other colours too. I love pinks and blues when you do a contemporary Christmas, but I do like red. So there we go. Now you can add glitter to that. I won't now because I'll put my fingers in it. But there we go. You can tie that up with your bow. That'll look lovely. You've got your insides done. And here is your second one. So you can see how cute they look. I hope you've enjoyed that. It's quite a long video this, but at least you get to see all how it's made. They're full up in there, and that one, just adjust that there once you've got that tied down, fits perfectly, fits your goodies inside. Now I know a lot of you watch from America, and I'm sure you've got biscuits or chocolates that will fit in this size because it's quite a long size, or you could fit little bars in. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please give me a like and a thumbs up. Tell me what you think. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.